The district administration in Muzaffarnagar in Uttar Pradesh has come up with a diktat that all small shops, restaurants, eateries should display the name of the owner of the premises, in some instances even the workers in the premises, during the Kanwar Yatra. Now, the Kanwar Yatra is a religious pilgrimage. It's a procession undertaken by many young Hindus all the way from Haridwar to their native villages. It happens during what is called the Sawan months, or the monsoon months between July and August. Now, ostensibly, this is being done because the administration wants to make sure that the Kanwariyas, the ones who undertake this yatra, who keep a month-long fast and do the 250 plus kilometer long trek from Haridwar to their native villages, they are not conned into eating non-vegetarian food prepared at the hands of those who may not appreciate the beliefs of the Kanwars. Now, while the intention of it is noble enough, the problem is this: by asking for signboards of who the owner is, who the workers are, what their names are, what their religious distinction is, they are now trying to make a distinction between the food that is being prepared on the one hand, which is what the religious sentiment is associated with, and who is preparing that food. Kanwars want vegetarian food, and that is absolutely kosher. That is absolutely fine, because that is in keeping with their religious beliefs. But insisting that only Hindus can prepare Shakahari Bhojan, or that only certain people can prepare vegetarian meals that is required by the Kanwars, that is the equivalent of saying that only Muslims can serve halal meat, that no Hindu establishment can serve halal meat, which of course is an article of faith for the Muslims. At the end of the day, is this religious bigotry, or is this sensitizing the larger population of the sentiments of the majority? But first, the story.
जितने भी खान पान के दुकानें हैं, चाहे वो होटल, ढाबे, ठेले, जहाँ से भी कांवड़िए अपनी खाद्य सामग्री खरीद सकते हैं, उन सबको ये निर्देशित किया गया है कि अपने प्रोप्राइटर के या काम करने वालों के नाम ज़रूर डिस्प्ले करें।
जो कांवड़िए आते हैं उनको सही कीमत पर सामान दुकानों पर न मिलने के कारण पूर्व में विवाद पैदा हुआ। इसके साथ ही दुकान किसी अन्य व्यक्ति की है और उस पर पोस्टर और नाम कुछ और लिखा गया, जिससे भ्रम की स्थिति पैदा होती है और विवाद की स्थिति उत्पन्न होने की संभावना होती है।
ये संविधान के आर्टिकल 17 का वायलेशन है, जो अनटचेबिलिटी की बात करता है।
कांवड़ यात्रा का जो स्वागत है, उनके खाने पीने की व्यवस्था वो मुस्लिम समुदाय के भी लोग करते हैं। ये देश गंगा जमनी तहजीब से चलता आया है। हिंदू मुसलमान साथ रहते आए हैं, एक दूसरे के त्यौहार में शामिल होते आए, एक दूसरे के आयोजन में शामिल होते आए।
अब इसमें बताइए कन्फ्यूजन की क्या जरूरत? आज तक अभी तक तो नहीं होता था, तो कौन सा कन्फ्यूजन सरकार को बताना चाहिए कि नाम न होने की वजह से कौन सा कन्फ्यूजन पैदा हो रहा है, कौन सी परिस्थिति पैदा हो रही है जो हमारी एकता अखंडता के लिए खतरा हो रही है, मानवता के लिए खतरा हो रही है, कांवड़ियों के लिए खतरा हो रही है।
All right, so let's give you an overview of the storm of charges against the government and for the government's diktat. Basically, the order that's been issued by the district authorities in Muzaffarnagar is that the eateries, hotels, restaurants, even telas must display the name of the proprietors. The opposition says, and they're fuming, that the Yatra rules are almost similar to Nazi Germany, where you had the houses of Jews identified by an X mark for Nazi Germans to come out and target them. The diktat by the government and the district authorities says that the order is to try and avoid any kind of religious disputes between the Kanwariyas, who are largely Hindu, and by the shop owners, who may happen to be largely Muslim. The opposition's contention is that this is state-sponsored anti-Muslim bigotry. The government's order says that this is to try and safeguard the dietary preferences of the Kanwariyas or the devotees. The opposition's contention being that peaceful yatras have happened in the past. There has been no such rule in the past. This is the first time in thousands of years that such a rule has been imposed by district authorities. How is it that there wasn't the warranted need for such a rule in the past? The government says that the order is being willingly followed in some of the communally sensitive areas, particularly in Muzaffarnagar. Opposition says the government is promoting untouchability in a bid to try and sideline Muslims. So, where does the truth lie? Let me now go across to our guests who are joining us. Sanju Verma is national spokesperson of the BJP. Dr. Pooja Tripathi is spokesperson of the Congress Party. Ghanshyam Tiwari, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Shantanu Gupta is the author. He is the official biographer of Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. Sanju Verma, let me start with you first. By asking shopkeepers, vendors to identify themselves by name, you are willy-nilly allowing them to be profiled along religious lines, which could prompt discrimination, which is A, unconstitutional. You are making something which is exclusionary by saying that only a fellow Hindu can prepare food for the Kawadiyas. That is akin to saying only a fellow Muslim can prepare halal meat preparations for Muslims.
You know, Zaka, let me take the bull by the horns without trying to shove the uncomfortable truth under the carpet. There is food jihad, which is practiced by people who believe in the theory, eat halal, live halal, earn halal, employ halal. Let's first talk about halal certification. Today, halal is a $2.5 trillion industry globally, and in India, it is roughly about $150 to $200 billion industry. As a woman, if I go to a shop, I love cosmetics. There is cosmetic jihad. There are some cosmetics which clearly say this lipstick, this perfume, this face powder, this compact is halal certified. If I want to buy a beverage on a flight, I'm told this tea is halal certified. This packet of fruit juice is halal certified, and I'm expected to consume it with no offense taken and without even a whimper of a criticism. Forget about cosmetic jihad, forget about food jihad. Halal has now entered the pharmaceuticals business, the banking services in India, and the financial services in India, where banks and financial services are making tailor-made products which are adhering to basic Islamic practices and cater to the Muslim population.
But Sanju, the argument is don't buy it, no? If there is halal beverages or halal food or halal drinks or whatever it is, don't buy it. Say you don't want to buy it.
I'm coming to that. That's a good question, and I was anticipating that. I have this to say. When there is a halal cosmetic, there is a halal beverage, there is halal food, there is halal financial services products, there is a halal banking products. As a Hindu, I'm told you have a choice. यहाँ से मत खरीदो ना, कहीं और से खरीदो. But when you certify certain products to be halal certified, you are actually, when I say you, I mean people who engage in the halal business, you are creating a monopoly. You are creating an oligopoly. You are willy-nilly creating a policy of exclusion whereby many Hindus, even if they wish to buy from X, are told you cannot buy from here because इसमें इस्लामिक प्रिंसिपल्स के तहत खाना बनाया गया है, कॉस्मेटिक्स बनाए गए हैं, चाय कॉफी बनाई गई है, म्यूचुअल फंड्स के प्रोडक्ट्स तैयार किए गए हैं. So I say, why is this so? I am told that, fine, Article 14, Article 15, Article 17 of the Constitution talk about right to equality, but you know what? Article 25 of the Constitution says that I as an individual, and when I say I mean anyone, be it a Hindu, Jain, Christian, I have the right to profess and practice and propagate the religion of my choice. So first, my point is this. When you talk about equality, let it be known to your audience and let it be known to the likes of Asaduddin Owaisi that the very constitution which gives you and me fundamental rights also says no right functions in a vacuum and every fundamental right is subject to basic principles of public order, morality and health. So if the Uttar Pradesh government, in order to ensure law and order, is asking for eateries to mention the names of establishment owners and their employees, I'm asking one thing, Zaka, in 10 seconds. Has the word Muslim been mentioned? Why are Muslims outraging? I don't see Christians outraging. I don't see Buddhists outraging. I don't see Jains outraging. It simply says names of the owners have to be mentioned. Hindu, Muslim couple.
So let me ask Ghanshyam Tiwari, the fact that everyone needs to respect the faith of the Kawadiyas. You go through a certain set of religious rituals, you go through a certain vrat, a fast, over a period of time, over a month or so or whatever, for a certain number of days. And therefore, that needs to be respected. And as Sanju Verma says, if part of respecting that vrat or respecting that religious practice by these Kawadiyas is to ensure that you display the names of who is serving you what, then what is anybody's problem, Ghanshyam Tiwari?
Good evening, Zaka, to you, the viewers and the fellow co-panelists. There are three things that one must reflect on in this diabolical, hateful agenda of BJP. The first one, if let us say there is a poor man who serves water and his thela is named Shah, is the poor man, are Kanwariyas allowed to take water from the thela that is named Shah? I don't know, BJP guys don't know. Let us say I give them extra hint, it says A Shah. Will they take water from that thela? Let us say it says J Shah. Will they take water from that thela? This is that, even if it says Sanju, it says Sanju Khan. Will they take water from that thela? This diabolical policy can only be brought by people who want to interpret India on the basis of what clothes you wear, what is your first name, or what's your last name, who do you go out with, how do you perform your personal rituals. This is what BJP has turned out to be. As far as the nation is concerned, when it comes to electoral bonds, they don't shy away from taking hordes of money, unaccounted.
Zaka, he's digressing, as always.
The halal meats, XYZ meats to people across the world. Did BJP say that I will not accept your money in this electoral bond, Chandalo Dhandalo model, because you export halal?
Even your Samajwadi Party has accepted money via electoral bonds. So don't take the moral high ground.
My final point. Every time, Zaka, if you are a sincere journalist, if you look back at history, every time BJP is pushed into a corner by people of India, they have to depend on a riot, creation of a riot, creation of bigger model of hatred, and they think Uttar Pradesh is their laboratory. When trains are getting derailed, villages are flooded, people are
Ghanshyam, please stick to the topic. You have a bad habit of digressing and being out of syllabus always.
Let him finish, please, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah.
They choose to create a headline by a diabolical policy that makes no sense. If the thela has Shah written on it, let the people think whether they would want to drink water from that thela or not. Entire BJP is drinking water.
You know, the beautiful irony of this whole thing is, your name is so beautiful and such a explicit one. I can't say G Tiwari, that's a giveaway. I can't say Ghanshyam T, that's also a giveaway. Whereas in Sanju's case, I can say Sanju V, Sanju K. It can be anything, right? So it's such a beauty to our culture and our heritage.
One final quick point. For 600 years. People can argue whether Kabir was Hindu or Muslim. What did we learn from the beautiful legacy of Kabir? That today, in the land of Kabir, BJP has to come up with this diabolical policy. This is mindless.
Sanju Verma, for 600 years, these folks have been doing the Kanwar Yatra. Why have you suddenly come up with this whole idea that people who are doing thelas and all that have to display their names? Let's say, for example, somebody asked this on Twitter. There's also KFC and McDonald's on the way. Will they also have to display name of Colonel Sanders and name of whoever it is who founded McDonald's? I mean, at some point we have to have logic to all of this.
You know, Zaka, people who are giving lectures on secularism to the BJP, you know, they need to learn that this is the same Congress party, the same Samajwadi party. When in 2006-07, there was quota within quota given to Muslims in Tamil Nadu, the Congress was in power in the center. It was the Manmohan Singh-led government. You know, nobody complained. इन्होंने कहा ये तो secularism है. Very recently, ahead of the Telangana Assembly polls and ahead of the Karnataka polls, if you look at the Congress manifesto very minutely, they say we will give loans at concessional rate to Muslims to buy bicycles, auto rickshaws and taxis. And when it was asked, why not the same benefits to Muslims only? Why not to Hindus, to Christians, to Jains, to Buddhists? You know, Revant Reddy had no answer. Siddaramaiah had no answer. मतलब आप करो तो सब सही. यहाँ पर, and by the way, what outrages me, Zaka, is this. A few weeks back, a BJP minority morcha worker, she is a Muslim. She was paraded naked in full public glare for 2 kilometers in West Bengal. that did not generate any outrage. कहा गया ये भूल जाइए, ये तो होता रहता है, हुआ तो हुआ. But today you're outraged simply by a diktat that says the establishments have to notify the names of owners.
Let me ask.
आपको इतनी आपत्ति क्यों होती है हर चीज में?
Let me ask Dr. Pooja Tripathi of the Congress Party, if the intention of this diktat, and I'm trying to still give the benefit of the doubt to the administration, the local administration, Muzaffarnagar, and now I believe one more neighboring district, Saharanpur, I believe, has come up with the same diktat, is that if the end game is to enable that Kavariyas, who admittedly they take a religious ritual, they keep a certain fast, they can only have certain kinds of food, and you know this, Dr. Tripathi, better than anybody else. If the idea is to make available to them only certain kinds of food, I'm absolutely fine with that. The problem in this diktat is who is making that food. Person X or Y or Z, you can't distinguish by the maker of the food as opposed to the food that is being made. I have no problems. Jains can't eat onions and garlic and anything that grows under the earth. Absolutely fine. That needs to be respected. Muslims can only have halal meat, cannot have any other form of meat other than halal meat. I absolutely respect that. In a certain month, the month of Sawan, Hindus certain Mondays cannot eat non-veg. I absolutely respect that. The problem with this order is it's not about respecting what a person can or cannot eat. It's about who is cooking what can or cannot be eaten.
Exactly, Zaka. It amounts to the economic boycott of Muslims. You could have passed an order which said Shuddh Shakahari Bhojan, yahan non-veg nahi banta hai. You could have these disclaimers for Kavariya respected. But what you have done, will you put a disclaimer that who is growing that food is an Hindu or a religion? You know, and my learned BJP panelist just made a small error which I want to point out. Article 24 of Constitution points to prohibition of employment of children below 14 years, and it's Article 25 which gives us the freedom to profess, practice and propagate a religion.
I said Article 25.
Please let me complete.
I said Article 25. Don't misquote me.
Okay, let her
No,
complete.
I said Article 25.
Okay, I get the point. Let her finish.
I did not speak about Article 25,
Sure. Let her
Stop
finish.
misquoting me, please.
Let her finish, yeah.
So, Article 25 is an individual right, and when a state passes an order, it actually defies Article 15 of Constitution, where you cannot prohibit on the grounds of religion, race, caste and sex. Also Article 70. Who thinks, you know, these Kavadiya, this may also be an attempt to encourage untouchability. This what reminds me when Manto wrote "Itna Musalman to hu ki main dango mein mara ja saku." What you have done, it actually, this order paints a clear, searing picture that once wasn't transformative, once was an aspirational India. You want to convert India into bloodthirsty scapegoat hunting mob. Just now, my learned BJP panelist was pointing to West Bengal. A minority, your minority, Bharatiya Janata Party, Bikaner's minority president, asked Narendra Modi ji, as a part of the party, as a part of the humble Karyakarta of the party, why did he use the Guspatiya word against a particular community during campaigning? And he was expelled. That is your tolerance. And when you talk about secularism, this is the same party that took 550 crore from meat exporting companies. Then they didn't say कि हमें halal नहीं चाहिए, हमें ये नहीं चाहिए. And the irony is the party that protects cow vigilantism extending to lynching. Now the four famous.
No, I take strong objection to these baseless allegations. Don't make baseless allegations. Don't make stupid and baseless allegations. I will not tolerate this. The debate is on. The debate is not on cow vigilantism. The debate is not on cow vigilantism. Don't digress from the issue. If you digress, I will rebut you. If you digress,
Okay.
I will interject.
One at a time. Let her finish. Let her finish. Let her finish. Pooja Tripathi, please stick to the topic at hand, and then I'll give Sanju Verma a chance to respond. Shantanu Gupta is also waiting. Pooja Tripathi, finish your point, please. Thank you.
What I was saying that the four biggest beef exporters in India, the meat exporters in India, is Al-Kabir, run by Mr. Satish and Mr. Atul Sabawar, Arabian Export, run by Mr. Sunil Kapoor, MKR Food, run by Mr. Madan Abbott, and PML Industries, run by Mr. Reyes Bindra.
No, but what do they have to do with the BJP?
What I'm saying, why are you mounting to the economic boycott of Muslims? Why are you mounting to economic boycott of Dalits?
Okay, but they have nothing to do with the BJP. Okay, let me come to Shantanu Gupta. Shantanu Gupta, let's flip this argument around, right? Muslims can only have halal meat. This is as per their religious scriptures and the laws as have been laid out by their religion. Now, the equivalent of this on the corollary side, if you're saying that every shopkeeper needs to display his or her name because Kavadiyas, want to know who is it who's preparing food for them. The flip side of that argument is that halal meat preparations can only be made by Muslims. That Sikhs who run dhabas or Hindus who run dhabas cannot prepare halal meat preparation. Therefore, Muslims should not either partake in feasts that are organized there or buy food from those dhabas. I mean, where are we getting to at the end of the day? The problem is, and I keep coming back to this, you judge the food that's being prepared. If there's a certain way in which a Hindu needs it or a Muslim needs it or a Buddhist or a Christian needs it, that's absolutely fine. That's in keeping with their religious faith. But to say only person X or only person Y or only person Z can prepare that particular food preparation the way I want to, that is discrimination. That is exclusionary. That is anti-constitutional.
See, Zaka, let me first start with explaining halal to your audience a little more clearly. And anyone who has a problem with this diktat of Muzaffarnagar or Saharanpur administration should have a exactly similar problem with halal also. Otherwise, that person is super hypocritical, right? In halal, it's the process and the person both, right? And it's only the slaughtering, not the preparation. So I can buy a halal meat and buy it. Even a Gupta can buy a halal meat and buy it, and they will come and eat it. So it's only how it's slaughtered, right? So it says the animal must be slaughtered by a Muslim or a person of the book. So Christians and Jews are also allowed, right? So that's how halal is. And as Sanju said, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. And because of that, multiple kasais are the people who slaughter in Hindu jati, in Hindu community, they are out of job in last 20 years because now you mentioned KFCs, even KFCs and Pizza Huts and McDonald's off to show halal certificate, and many Hindus don't bother. So by default, whatever you eat in all of these Western chains is halal meat, right? And it's a huge, in fact, my proposition should be Hindus should come up with the equivalent certification, like a Om certification or something of that sort. And as Sanju rightly said, it goes to a lot of non-food items, which is almost like a cosmetics and a clothes and a banking, which is like a very, very smart way to monopolize the market. Now coming to the Kanwar Yatra, as you rightly said, it's a very sacred yatra for the Hindus. They don't want to see it's a Vaishno Dhaba and when they pay by the Paytm, some Abdul is running it. They don't like it. And multiple fights have happened in the past. To avoid those confusion, right? Administration has done that.
No, but Shantanu, tell me, this yatra has been happening for thousands of years. Why has the administration woken up in 2024 to this problem?
Any innovation, any new thing will come someday, right? I'm sure your channel is not running the same way every day. I'm sure you'll add some innovation every day. I'm sure your people will know to invite this today, right? Something good. This is a good start. We should all appreciate it, right? Okay. That's all. And again, I'm saying that everyone who has a problem with this law should say in the same breath that they have the same problem with halal. Otherwise, they're super hypocritical and people are watching.
Ghanshyam, so please respond. If you have a problem with district authorities in Muzaffarnagar asking for the names of owners to be displayed, then you should have the same problem with people asking for Haldiram Bhujia mein halal ya non-halal kaisa ho sakta hai?
Exactly. They have to get halal certificate to sell in Dubai.
Ghanshyam.
I think one diabolical idea should not be contested with another diabolical idea. So if somebody is saying Haldiram Bhujia mein there is a mandate for halal, that has to be contested. But here is an administration.
How many times have you contested, Ghanshyam?
Please allow me to complete. I did not interrupt. At this rate, the state of Uttar Pradesh under the genius Baba will say that every petrol pump should say that the petrol is coming from an Islamic country. Shah ka tel. Right? Now will the according to this pious nature of administration, Shah ka petrol use karna chahiye ki nahi use karna chahiye? Shah ka gas cylinder use karna chahiye? This is absolute nonsense. This nonsense cannot be called public. This nonsense cannot be called. I did not interrupt.
Let him finish, please. Let him finish. Yeah, Ghanshyam. Yeah, finish your point. Yeah.
No matter what cosmic genius a Baba is, this is absolute nonsense. And this nonsense cannot be called public policy. The only agenda of this nonsense is distract people when you are not able to conduct exams, when you are not able to
Ghanshyam,
give
Ghanshyam,
jobs,
you
are
are
not able to face the problems that people are asking you to solve.
Once again, you're discounting the fact that this order has actually come from Lucknow. This has not come from Lucknow. This has come from the district authorities in Muzaffarnagar. To say that Baba gave this order, there's no evidence to show that.
Zaka, there is a complete chaos in Uttar Pradesh. Nobody knows what orders come from Lucknow, what orders come from Delhi, what orders are self-created.
Achha.
Everybody is a genius Baba there. They know that if a public policy like this is now being debated at a national channel, which means that we should think about the national implication of such a public policy, the world is mocking us, will laugh at us.
Okay.
No. I need to come in.
Okay, Sanju Verma, world is laughing at us. It is mocking us. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, it's bizarre. I mean, if Ghanshyam extends the same logic, you can say we won't import oil from Saudi Arabia or from UAE or from Qatar.
Let me first, Zaka, you've been asking one pertinent question since the start, and I need to answer that. You said there is nothing wrong if you say that, okay, Jains, for instance, don't eat onions and garlic. There are Shakahari Hindus, there are Masahari Hindus, but why do establishments need to mention the owners? What is the reason, the logic behind the diktat? Ghanshyam used, this is nonsense public policy, ye nonsense hai, wo nonsense hai. I want to now speak without using abusive language. Please understand, there are many videos that are viral on social media, and I am not authenticating those, but I feel you cannot denounce all the videos. And listen to this very carefully. मैं जाती हूँ वैष्णो देवी, लिखा होता है वैष्णो देवी का ढाबा. मैं जाती हूँ काशी विश्वनाथ, लिखा होता है माता रानी का ढाबा. मैं जाती हूँ पुरी जगन्नाथ मंदिर, लिखा होता है जय श्री कृष्णा मिठाई वाला. मैं जाती हूँ मध्य प्रदेश उज्जैन कॉरिडोर के पास, लिखा होता है सरस्वती फूल वाला. पता पड़ता है माता रानी का ढाबा, वैष्णो देवी का ढाबा, जय श्री कृष्ण मिठाई वाला, भवानी फूल वाला, जगन्नाथ मिठाई वाला. They have nothing to do with Jagannath, nothing to do with Mata Rani, nothing to do with Mahadev, nothing to do with Prabhu Ram, nothing to do with Prabhu Krishna. These are people whose names are actually Sulaiman, Altaf, Ansari, Mushtaq, Ahmad, Salim, Ashraf. So my point is this: if Muslims are the only ones protesting against this diktat, should I conclude that Muslims have been deliberately and willfully using Hindu names to run their establishments in order to mislead Hindu devotees? The answer in many cases is yes. मुझे नहीं चाहिए घनश्याम, when I'm going to do the Jalabhishek at a Shiv Mandir, शिवलिंग के ऊपर मुझे पता पड़े that the milk or the water that I have got from a particular establishment, the Muslim employee ने उस पे थूका है, because many of them on social media say that when we spit into a roti,
Sanju, that's the equivalent of saying, okay, if there is a problem, if there are certain people, and I don't think, look, Hindu society is very, very tolerant, they are very, very liberal minded. If some people have a problem with paying, to Sulaiman or Sheikh Abdullah, whoever it is who's running a juice shop outside these pilgrimage places, that's like saying, Hindu should not run anything outside Haji Ali.
No, Zaka, you misunderstood me, please.
Zaka,
can I just interrupt you for a bit? Very humbly. Can I just, Shantanu, please, 10 seconds.
Okay.
Since Zaka asked me a question. Zaka, let me be very honest with you. I have studied, I have worked abroad, and as liberal as they come. I've had Christian friends. I continue to have, great relationships with my Muslim friends. I'm as cosmopolitan as they come. My limited point is this. I have no problem buying, from Sulaiman Mithai Wala or an Ashraf Juice Wala. What I have a problem being a Hindu is when you say Vaishno Devi ka dhaba wala, I assume you are a Hindu. When you say Bhavani Mithai Wala, I believe you're somebody who worships Mata Bhavani, Mata Rani. And then I find out that you're a Sulaiman, you're an Atik, you're an Ashraf.
So,
you're an
Ghanshyam, respond to that. This is deceit. You're deceiving your potential customers and thereby making economic progress. And then I'll go to Dr. Tripathi after that. Yeah. Ghanshyam.
Dr. Tripathi said something very interesting to ponder. That quoting Manto, that itna to Musalman hu ki mara ja sakun. The point is, in a decade under Mr. Modi, that our country earned disrepute because of lynching, because of this kind of bigotry. If at a public policy level, at an administrative level, whether it comes from a district administration or comes at the national level, you are further adding to that disrepute.
Apart from
What are
abusing
you
Narendra Modi,
communicating?
can you come
That
up
a
with
petrol-
better logic?
No,
Please
one
allow
second,
me
ma'am.
to
One
complete.
second. Let him finish, please. Thank you.
Don't abuse
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Prime
He
Minister.
didn't say anything about the
Speak
Prime
with
Minister.
logic.
He didn't
One
say
should
anything.
speak
He
with
didn't say
logic.
anything. He's making an argument. Let him put it forth. Yeah.
Every such instance, you are just further legitimizing lynch mobs. You are giving them additional reason, additional legitimacy of public policy. My final point on what Sanju said: if a petrol pump says ki Vaishnav petrol pump, does that mean that the petrol in that petrol pump is coming from a shrine, Hindu
Why should a
temple,
Muslim
or is it
not
still
name
coming
the
from
petrol
Saudi
pump
Arabia? What are you talking about? There is no
under
logic in
his
what you are
name?
talking about.
Why does he have to mislead?
Enterprise,
भवानी देवी का मिठाई वाला पता पड़े कि ओनर सुलेमान है. जय श्री कृष्ण फूल वाला पता पड़े कि
Ma'am, let him finish. Ma'am, please. Let him finish.
Sanju
Yeah,
Verma-
Ghanshyam, make you
Sanju
finish your
Verma
point. I have
in
to
her-
go to Dr. Tripathi and then final word to Shantanu Gupta after that. Yeah, please. Thank you.
My
Good
final
job.
point is Sanju Verma in her past life was an investment banker. Did she advise
Past
anybody
life?
not
No,
to buy?
past life, इसी life में है, but ठीक है.
This is past professional life.
मेरे को why
हाँ,
you
past
writing a
professional
obituary?
life. हाँ, हाँ, ठीक है,
Past professional
बताइए.
life
हाँ.
was an investment banker.
Yes.
Did she advise any client that you should not buy this stock because this is the proprietor,
Oh my
one of the
God.
founders is a Muslim,
What is
or one of the promoters is a
Ghanshyam
Muslim?
up to,
If you
Zaka?
did not,
He's-
if you did not advise your client
Ghanshyam,
in your
please speak
professional life,
sense.
then when you bring this into your political life, it demonstrates
Ghanshyam,
that you are either driven by propaganda
being insane
or you
with your
want to
logic.
propaganda.
Okay,
Make
let
some
me go to
sense.
Dr. Tripathi and then Shantanu after a final word after that. Dr. Tripathi, the point is, I was going through some of the Supreme Court orders. There is a pretty historic order by the Supreme Court as far as, for example, Khap Panchayats and their whole business about restricting marriages. So, you know that Khap Panchayats want to restrict marriages to people of similar gotras. This was struck down by the Supreme Court. And this is what the court said. You cannot have one set of people catering only to their fellow caste, religion, tribal brethren. The right of an adult to choose his or her life partner is above, quote unquote, class honor. This was a 3-judge bench headed by then Chief Justice Deepak Mishra. It ordered that there should be guidelines. You should check unlawful interference in the lives of interfaith and intercaste couples by Khap Panchayats. It will remain in force until a suitable legislation is put in place that Khap Panchayats should not take the law into their own hands. It cannot assume the character of a law implementing agency, for that authority has not been conferred upon them. This is the similar sort of mindset as far as this order is concerned, that certain people get to call dibs or get to call first rights on who eats what. Again, like I said, I don't have a problem with Jains, having an issue with eating garlic or onion. It has to be catered to. Those are their religious sentiments. It has to be respected. Certain Muslims believe only in eating halal meat. It has to be catered to. Kavadiyas take a 35-40 day vrat and they can only eat vegetarian, and they have to follow certain rituals. Absolutely, I'm in agreement with the sentiment that has to be followed. The issue in this order is that only person X, Y or Z can make that food. A or B or C or M cannot make that food is a problematic order.
Zaka, what's the beauty of this country? The beauty of this country is multiculturalism with mind-boggling diversity in food. As you said, Jains cannot eat onion and garlic, in culture, in anything, in religious beliefs, and limiting the religious beliefs, saying Bhavani ka dhaba cannot be run by which Hindu scripture, which Hindu, the book, which Hindu scripture says that a Muslim cannot run. I just visited Orcha, Zaka, and then there was a Chaturbhuj Mandir of Vishnu Ji which was prevented by invaders by a Muslim called Mehrun-Nisa. And there a aarti is done in honor of Mehrun-Nisa. And this is the beauty of this country. Saying that कि वो ऐसा
Give your bhashan to Muslims who don't allow women to visit Jama Masjid. Give your bhashan on secularism to Muslim women who cannot visit Jama Masjid. Give your bhashan to women who had to wait for the Modi government to make instant triple talaq illegal.
What is this habit of speaking
to the BJP?
What is this
Thanks
habit
to
of
Narendra Modi, instant triple talaq was made illegal. आप तो triple talaq को भी legal ठहराती हो.
You are giving the examples of
Why are Muslim women not allowed to offer prayer at Jama Masjid? इस पर भाषण दो. सारे भाषण हिंदुओं के लिए हैं.
Animal kind of behavior. You just jump into everyone's
No. Finish your point, ma'am. Finish your point, and then I need to go to Shantanu for the last word in 1 minute. Yeah.
Saying this cannot be run when you are naming person. Again, I'm saying it's an economic boycott. It's ghettoization of Muslims. Also Dalits. You may say that, and a forward caste may say that this is being prepared by some lower caste and are not eaten. What are you propagating? You are actually violating Article 15 of Constitution, Article 17 of Constitution, and whatever bigotry, whatever.
So, Shantanu, today the intent of the order is to say, okay, Muslims can't prepare or non-Hindus can't prepare. What if tomorrow the Kavariyas, Shantanu, final word, 30 seconds, I have to wrap up. What if tomorrow the Kavariyas say, I won't eat from a dhaba if it's run by a Dalit?
I'm saying it's taking it too far. I think this debate of yours should be marked in the gold standard in people speaking double standards and people being hypocrite. And I'm sure Gansham and Pooja Tripathi should get the medal for that. I think exactly same things happen in halal, and for some reason we are escaping. हमको लग रहा है तन से जुदा ना हो जाए. Exactly the same thing. It has to be prepared by a Muslim. Lakhs and lakhs of Kasais from Hindu community got out of job. I don't know why we're calling it. For Ghansham, honoring Hindu beliefs is nonsense. And for halal is beautiful for him, right? If you travel to Dubai or any Middle East, every product is halal. That's all. And even Baba Ramdev and or a Haldiram cannot sell it because the halal sell it. That's fine. But administration honoring Hindu feeling is a nonsense, I'm saying. And that's why Mulayam Singh Yadav was called Mullah Mulayam. I think he's following exactly that. I'm thinking this is ridiculous what happened in this debate in the last 30 minutes.
Let's move on. I want to thank all our guests for joining us. We'll see how this plays out.